Episode 17 of Scale Up Your Sales and Marketing is all about sales and marketing on a shoestring. Lisa, tell us more.
So we were asked this question by one of our listeners from Series 1 who said, how do I go up against the big guys as a small business when I have a really limited budget?
Good question.
It's a really good question, and it's one that we're going to guide you through during this podcast because it's possible. Of course it's possible.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I've seen historically is that being a small business, you can be way more agile. The big boys have got a lot more red tape, a lot more like stage gateways and processes that they have to go through. And for them to take a product to market could take 6 to 12 months, whereas for a small business startup could be days.
Absolutely. And also as well, you have the power to be as creative as you like. And actually the decisions and the speed of executing those decisions is entirely at your discretion as the small business owner. So again, first thing, recognize that your speed of delivery, your flexibility and your agility are all things which very much stand you apart from the big guys.
Yeah, definitely things in your favour. So we thought we'd talk through some of those things that you can have in your armory of marketing and sales and marketing in order to feel a bit more kind of in control and that you're able to scale on a shoestring.
And also that you're able to present when you're asked, what's your marketing strategy or what's your marketing plan, that you're able to actually have some things in your toolkit which you can present as, this is how I intend to sell and market my product or service.
Fab. The first thing on our list is social media, and it's probably no surprise. It's one of the first places that most startups and scaling businesses go to and spend time on, maybe potentially even too much time on, in my opinion. But I'll come to that when we talk about something else down the line. So social can be, immediate, it's free, unless you're using paid ads. There can be retargeting done. It can be such a great platform to get out there and to start to use for research purposes and to gather sales from day one, can't it?
And from my point of view, the way to use social media or your social media is to offer out the opportunity to call out your new business or your new stockist as a stockist. So let's say, for example, you have a social media following which far extends theirs. The fact that you are shouting them out on your social media to your audience of however many is a really good way of marketing them. I mean, you see it on the television all the time, or used to at least, when Tesco's had an advert or a particular brand had an advert, they would then tag Tesco in the advert, now available in your Tesco store. It's like when they're all doing, Tesco card, club card, points, etc. They're using specific brands to illustrate the point. And actually that's massive. So those brands will have paid, I'm pretty sure, to have been featured in those adverts. But think about it from a small business perspective. Use your social media following as a way to shout out your new customers and clients. That's massive. That's your Tesco club card example.
And the nice thing about that is it can always be retweeted or shared or what depending on the platform, so that by them. So then their audience who's already shopping there is also seeing something potentially new for the first time or reminding them, oh, yes, that product's in store. Next time I go, I'll pick some up.
Yeah. So number one, social media. So use what you have to your advantage to shout out your new customer, stockist, listing, whatever that looks like.
And hot off the back of that is SEO, because for me, when I speak to businesses about their ROIs, their return on investment, and we've talked about that in episode 10 about how to look at the ROI. Generally, people spend more time on socials and make less ROI, and they spend less time writing blogs, and that is generally where the majority of their sales traffic's coming from when they look at their Google Analytics. So people will say to me like, Vic, I'm putting out 10 posts a week. Why? On my Google Analytics, how come it's so low as a percentage on my socials? And so it really highlights, the magical power of SEO for me. It's, regular new content all the time. It's adding the ability to be the thought leader or the brand that talks about these specific things. But also it's adding something that once it's done, it's done. With social, it's a constant. You have to constantly feed the monster. With SEO, once you've done it, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's out there, and you can then use that on the socials and things anyway. And one of the things that I'm working with clients at the moment is we love using Answer the Public. So we'll go on to Neil Patel's SEO software. You get at this point you get 3 per day. You're able to check 3 different keywords per day, and you can put. So let's say, for example, it's a artisan chocolate producer. So they might put in artisan chocolates, and then the results that will come back from that are like who, what, where, when, why. So it'll say things like, why are artisan chocolates more expensive? Who eats artisan chocolates? Where can I buy artisan chocolates? So these are then great topics to put as blogs, to just sit down, write it, use ChatGPT to give you a framework and some ideas for content. Obviously, don't copy and paste. That would just be criminal. Not criminal, not actually criminal, but in my eyes, criminal. It needs to have that brand tone of voice and be able to hear you talking about something so passionately. But being able to write something really regularly, like a weekly blog, to me, that might take you an hour to 2 hours, would be worth more than 10 social posts.
So what you're saying then is use your website to write content which establishes you as the expert in your field, whatever that field might be.
Yeah, and useful content for the audience that they're going to feel like this has helped me. I'm adding know, like and trust of this brand. If it's the first time they've come across you, I'm really starting to enjoy listening to and learning more from this brand. Therefore, when I see it and it's available in a shop, or I can then download this thing for free, I'm more likely to do it.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to take that next step because I've built up trust.
And again, building on point number 1 of social media, weave your new customers, clients, stockists into your blog content. So again, you're driving awareness of them and their business through your thought leadership.
Yeah, and even case studies and testimonials can be added to that as well. So number 3 is all about PR, and I know this is one that you wanted to champion, about being ready when there's an interview opportunity, radio interview, TV interview, and also whatever plethora of different, because it could be another website, it could be partnering with other businesses.
So for me, PR is not getting on the radio or getting in a newspaper or magazine. Yes, it is in the traditional sense, but for me, it's about being able to stand up and champion your business at a moment's notice.
So it's the preparation side of things for you.
So absolutely. Yep. So let me talk you through that. So there is no such thing as winging it. There isn't. People that wing it have stuff prepared behind them which enables them to wing it. They know their subject. They know what they're going to talk about. So I was invited to speak at an event on a subject that's not my specialist subject, but I would have done it. I couldn't do it because I wasn't available on that day, but I would have done it, but I would have prepared. So it's at a moment's notice. So these are the things that you need to have in your toolkit in order to answer yes to those questions. Can you come and do this? Somebody's dropped out. Hey, you've got a minute to stand up and introduce your business to the room.
Or a story's broke and it's something that might be relevant. Can you speak on that topic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So have your 60-second elevator pitch nailed. Take time to engage with a really good branding person, upskill yourself on Canva, find a great graphic designer and a copywriter that can really help you build an excellent presentation deck, so to speak. So you have a standard presentation, which is your business, what you do, the clients and customers that you serve, why you're great and why they should buy from you, so that you can you can speak on that subject.
So is that with a view to having that ready for if a radio interview is pending, they ring up and say, we'd like you to speak. Is that something that you're saying that presentation would be ready to send over to them to go, yeah, I can speak, here's some information about me, so that you've got that information ahead of time?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're invited to speak or to present at a lot of events, they ask you to send a bio. So again, you need to have that ready too.
Yeah.
So in your toolkit, you need to have a number of bits of information that will enable you to respond to those inquiries. So your elevator pitch, your bio, a presentation about your business and exactly what it is that you do, because that will enable you to speak with authority on those subjects at a moment's notice.
Fab. So we've got socials, SEO, PR. We're then moving on to things like awards, which follows on neatly from PR. And we've obviously got our award. That's what kicked all of this off, wasn't it? Our Enterprise Nation Awards. But yeah, what would you say in terms of marketing on a shoestring about entering awards? What are your thoughts on that?
So,
because we didn't even enter for that one.
Do it.
Normally you enter for awards, but on that particular one, we were nominated, weren't we?
So the best bit of advice I can give to our listeners is put yourself forward for awards. And the reason why is because it gets you in the habit of writing your application. So again, building on the point of be prepared, once you've written an award application, a good one, hopefully one that gets you the win, you can tweak it for each award that you then go on to enter.
Yeah.
So this exact thing happened to me. So in 2021, I think it was, I was nominated for an award, Newark Business Awards, so a local award. So I was nominated for it. And at first I thought, oh no, I don't think I'm going to go for this. And then I thought, no, I am going to go for it because I deserve to win. But I put everything into that award application. I think I locked myself in a room for almost the best part of a day, and I thought, right, I'm going to let them have everything.
It's hard
War
work.
and peace.
And it's bringing everything together, isn't it? Because you've got to almost like have that centre where, testimonials, statistics, all these different things that they all come together. It's brain work.
Yeah, and I think, and once you've done it, you can then copy and paste, chunk it up, chunk it down, whatever you need to do for whatever awards you then decide to go for. But make sure the awards are relevant. They're sector specific if you service a particular sector. And I'd like to say that you've got a chance of winning, because otherwise you could possibly be wasting your time. But back to the subject of sales and marketing on a shoestring, the reason why you should do it is because even if you don't win and you make the final, that is an excellent piece of collateral social material
for being at the awards
talk
ceremony.
Up your business. So you should definitely do it, because why not? You've got to be in it to win it, basically.
And one of the things I've generally noticed is that you'll probably start to see this now I've said, is that the deadline always goes back. They'll say like, oh, we've extended the deadline due to unprecedented demand. And what I hear them say when for those that are honest about it, is that they don't have enough people applying.
Yeah.
And actually, so putting your hat in the ring, you can sometimes be like, there's not a lot of people that are applying, therefore you have a really good chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody thinks everybody else is applying.
Yeah. And I think why not? And if you don't get any recognition, well, nobody needs to know that you ever applied in the first place. But actually, the process of getting yourself award ready is really important. And also, if nothing else, it makes you as the business owner look back and reflect and think, wow, I've achieved loads. This business is award worthy. So absolutely, go for it. Make sure they're relevant. Make sure that you're in with a good chance, and use it as a platform to leverage your visibility to make more businesses want to do business with you.
Yeah, love it. So heading on to the next one, we've got guerrilla marketing. This is one I really love. Have you got any examples of guerrilla marketing, or shall I just start?
You go for it. You go for it. This is your thing. Like this is marketing in its truest form.
Oh, one of the things that I really love is when you see, like, when people chalk things on the streets, and they might like chalk a brand in, or chalk something, or a domain name or something that you think, oh, I wonder what that is, or like stickers that go up. But also one that I watch this on YouTube quite a lot is like flash mobs. Now, there's one that I watch, and it is Les Miserables. It's in, I think it's Liverpool Street Station in London. Oh my gosh, it's definitely, if you're listening to this and you like Les Miserables, you've got to Google flash mob. I think it's Liverpool Street in London. And it's just brilliant because you just have, like, you know, you've got such a big open space. It's all being recorded from above. And then one person starts singing. So people are like looking like, what's going on here? And then next thing you know, like 2 people are singing, 3 people. And that, but you know, before you know it, in like 4 or 5 minutes, there's like, I don't even know, it must be 50, 60 people doing the same dance. So everybody has stopped, everybody is looking. It's a joy to watch. And you know, like the songs on Les Mis are so, like, they really get you, don't they? So things like that, obviously, if that was a brand doing it, you know, in particular brand colours, or with a message, or T-shirts that say certain things, people are going to stop and look, and they're going to find. So guerrilla marketing can be really powerful.
But from a small business point of view, so let's say you're a product business, it's about clever product placement, isn't it? You know, like, for example, if you've got, I don't know, a drink, why don't you go and like pop it on
a shelf?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because
actually guerrilla marketing doesn't have to be about, you know, flash mobs and all. It can just be you being a little bit ballsy.
Yeah, definitely.
And just like, ballsy. You know, put yourself where you don't belong. And actually it's about eyes on your business and actually generating talk, and that ripple effect, you know, one person sees it, they share it, it goes out. So just be creative.
The queen of guerrilla marketing, I mean, it must have started way before then, but Estee Lauder, obviously a famous perfumist and skincare business owner, she was famous for dropping a bottle. It might have been in, I don't know what store it was, but she dropped a bottle of her perfume in there so that people were like, what is that smell? I know, that sticks with me, because I just think, like, being ballsy is one of those things, like, whether it was by accident or whether she actually went in and went, I don't know.
This is totally aligned to my favourite saying, which is seek forgiveness, not permission. I think you just, you know, what's the worst that could happen? You know, like this is a small business, a small brand trying to get themselves noticed.
Yeah, it does make a difference, definitely. So moving on to some more things before we finish, we've got have banner will travel.
Yep.
You're a big fan of the pull-up banner.
Oh my gosh. Do you know this banner here is the most effective and piece of marketing collateral that I've ever invested in. So I bought this at the start of lockdown. This has sat behind me on every single Zoom call that I've been on.
Yeah.
It needs updating, but for me, this is again back to the point of being able to represent your business at a minute's notice. So
and being recognisable, because I think the more people see something, it feels really comfortable.
So if you are thinking about going to take your business to an exhibition, an event, or if you're invited to, so I've been to conferences where they've said we're inviting a number of businesses to come with their pop-up banners.
Yeah.
So think about what you need, and the answer to that is that you don't need a lot. So you absolutely need a backdrop, which looks something like this. I think these are about 70 quid.
Yeah.
So you absolutely need a backdrop. You need to wear your biggest and best smile, because let's face it, people are going to be drawn not just to the banner, but to you as a person. So don't be sitting down with your arms folded and then wonder why nobody approaches you. But I've also, I'm a big fan of the A4 frame as well. So just so, print out some things
Like we have
and
here.
put them in an A4 frame. So I've got an example here, which for the benefit of our listeners, you won't be able to see, but it's a client testimonial printed out and put into an A4 frame. Make the text as big as possible so that it can be seen from a distance. I think as well with exhibitions, most of them centre around a 6-foot trestle table of some description.
Yeah.
Get a really nice table covering.
Yeah.
That
We
is,
have a lovely dark blue one. It's the same as this.
I've got a brilliant orange one. So there is your brand colours and will make your table stand out from the rest of the tables.
And the thing is that you can go to the effort of having them branded, and that can cost hundreds.
Yeah.
But just going down to, I think ours was like Asda or something, literally just buying a tablecloth from somewhere that's in a colour that feels a bit more like in alignment with the branding. Even if it's a nice white one, that's still going to work really well.
And just... So thinking about what your exhibition toolkit could look like, if you're a product-based business, fantastic. Use your products to create a display. Offer samples if you have the opportunity to do that. Make sure you don't give away all the product, just a sample of the product, just enough to pique their interest and whet their appetite.
Little asterisk with allergy information.
Correct, yeah. And then the last thing is... make sure that you have a clear call to action. So QR codes. I mean, gosh, the biggest thing to come out of COVID, QR codes. Make it simple. Slap it in an A4 frame as big as you can with the words "scan me"
or "buy today,"
buy me, sign up, whatever that looks like. But one clear call to action which can be seen from afar and is for those people who are a bit shy and they don't want to stop and actually engage in conversation, but they want to know a bit more about you, what you do. So toolkits for exhibitions and events, pop-up banner, yes. Fancy tablecloth, yes, they're not expensive. Get some visuals in an A4 frame. Use your product to actually create a display. Give samples if you get the opportunity, but make sure you don't give away full product. And you're good to go.
Branded pens.
Oh. Do you know, I went to an exhibition recently and honestly, every single stand had a bowl of celebrations, heroes or roses.
It just gets very samey.
It's outdated, guys.
It's like walking down a high street and there just being like lots of charity shops. There's nothing different.
If you want my business, you're going to need to work a bit harder than giving me an orange cream. I'm sorry. So remember, I'm going to get these words right because I have actually used this. Your stand will grab their attention, but you will draw them in.
Oh, I like that. Because you see so many people just on their phones behind a table,
like looking
sat down, like I can't be bothered.
I don't want to be
But you've
here.
invested so much time and energy and money on the day. Well, not necessarily lots of money because like we've been talking about how to make a stand on a budget, but just the time and energy being there on the day, early starts, gathering everything together.
Be the brightest star in the room.
Yeah.
Busy stands attract more people. Yeah. So even if it's not the stands that attract the attention are those which have a crowd around them, and you're going to
hire a crowd.
Well, you're the one that draws in the crowd, not the person sitting down behind the table with a bowl of celebrations in front of them. I feel like if I had a mic, which I have, I would drop it at this moment. Honestly such a bugbear of mine.
No, I
totally
agree.
There like that.
I totally agree. There's nothing more off-putting.
Come on, put a bit of effort into it.
And a couple more things before we finish. And some of these are actually touch points that we've mentioned in one of our earlier podcasts in Series 1, where we talked about which touch points does my business need. But just to really round off with a couple more is partnering with other businesses is a great way to do your marketing and sales on a shoestring. Getting those cross referrals or being able to hear from them about like promoting them promoting you, or doing a competition, or these kind of things. That
I see that a lot in the food world, where like a collective of non-competing brands get together to do a giveaway.
Beautiful. One thing to mention on that is terms and conditions are really important to wrap around that. And the final thing really is email marketing, because once the stand's been done, it's an easy way to follow up, plus also giving them a call, as you would rightly say. But in terms of things that they could do immediately and for free, is building that database of people that have opted in for more information and dropping them like a little, did you like the samples? How did you find the day? How can we do more business together? Depending on who it is, if it's a B2B or B2C client, and whether it's a product or a service, will depend on what that message is.
And we talked, didn't we, about how to compete against the big boys. That was the point at the beginning. Use your email marketing database to shout out the fact that you're now working with this customer, or you've now got your product listed in. Again, this is all elements that you can present forward to say, if you take my product, or if you engage with us to buy our services, we will shout you out on our socials, in our email marketing, on our blog posts. And they're always a bit like, wow, that's actually probably more than any of the big guys are doing anyway. So don't underestimate the power or the ability that you have to raise their profile too.
So there we have it. Lots of different ways to help you with sales and marketing on a shoestring. Don't forget, you can follow us over on Scale Up Podcast on Instagram. And we hope you enjoyed this session, and you can drop us a DM if you get any more questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you.